Hello, everybody. So today I have a very exciting guest, and it is Anas Abu Kamar. He is a digital creator who's 34 years old, and he's half Palestinian, half Qatari, and he works here in Qatar. And he's here to talk about how he built his social media to 18.5k followers. And also, he's a very interesting person. He can speak 4 languages. He can speak Arabic, English, Romanian, and Spanish fluently. So welcome, Anas. Was that introduction accurate?
Yeah, Rahul, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So, Anas, let's get into the first question. When did you actually feel like you need to start doing what you're doing right now with all the social media?
All right, so for the past 10 years, I was working in the digital field. So I'm talking e-commerce, digital marketing, social media, you name it. When it comes to digital, I've done it, but I've done it for corporates. So I was managing accounts, social media accounts for big companies in Qatar. Like Qatar Post, like Vodafone Qatar, like Mall of Qatar. So my last gig, I was managing the social media channels of the biggest mall in Qatar. And when you handle a channel with over 100,000 people, it can get a bit hectic, especially if you're alone. You can only imagine the amount of messages I was getting. But in the same time, I was thinking, if I've managed a channel with 140,000 to be exact on Instagram, I can do this for myself. So I resigned in July 2020, and my only thought was, I need to reflect what I do for a living on my Instagram account. I'm a content creator. I was a content creator for these companies. Now I want to show this on my Instagram account to make it easier for the next employer to find me. But then once I started producing content, I think things took a different turn, and a couple of companies started contacting me for blogger and influencer stuff. But honestly, the plan was to get my next job.
But also, I've seen so many sponsors on your Instagram. You have MG Motors, you have Talabat, you have Hardee's, and you have so many big companies sponsoring you. So how do you actually gather these sponsors?
So I think to be successful in social media, you need two things. You need consistency and creativity. So without sponsorships, I was going on my own, creating content. And because of my previous job, actually one advantage that I have is that my previous job, I used to hire influencers and content creators to come and promote the mall. So I've seen the quotations, I've seen how everybody works. And as well, because of my job experience as in digital marketing, I was spending from my own pocket on ads because I needed to be seen. Regardless of how many followers you have, if you're advertising your account and you're paying, you'll get reach, you'll get impressions. So yeah, I never approached anybody. I was being contacted by different, started with JW Marriott. And then once you get signed by one deal, other companies will notice you.
Okay, that's really interesting. Okay.
So I was actually the gig for JW Marriott, I did it for free. But I made sure that I show up on their video with their logo. So other companies are going to be like, oh, this guy is up for gigs.
Also, guys, his Instagram is at Triplefqatar, and the 3 F's stand for fit, food, and fly. And that's all he posts about. He posts about fitness, he talks about food, and he also talks about traveling.
Not so much traveling at the moment because of the pandemic.
So how do you think about this notion? Like, how do you think Triple F is the right way to go?
All right, so two things. It started as a joke back in July with my ex-boss, Zaina. She was like, Anas, all you post about is gym, food, and traveling. That's all you post about. So I thought, fit, food, and fly. And in social media, what a lot of people don't, I don't want to say a lot of people, but those, if you want to become known or famous, your name, that's why people have stage names. I thought if you see an advertisement from Anas Abu Qamar, you're not gonna be as intrigued if you see the word Triplefqatar, and having the country's name make it so relatable.
Yeah.
So you think it's an institution, or what is this that has to do in Qatar? So you're more likely to visit the account if you see an advertisement for Triplefqatar rather than Anas Abu Qamar.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Maybe in the future I can switch it, but at the moment.
It's doing well. Yeah, it's doing well. Also, can you tell us your story? How did you start with everything? Where were you working before? Your education?
Yeah, so I'm born and raised here. My mom is Qatari, she's born here. My father is Palestinian, he came in 1960. I did business administration at Carnegie Mellon University. I'm class 09. And I've started my career at Vodafone Qatar back in 2009.
I see. So after that, did you do any masters?
No, I didn't think it was necessary for me.
I see. Okay. So what you're doing right now, is it a side hustle or is it somewhat, a main hustle? With
I'll tell you, when I started Triple F, the purpose, an advice for people that want to do this, money shouldn't be your first motivation.
Yeah.
Money will come if you're successful, regardless of what you do. So I did it again to get my next job, and then I do it I'm born and raised here. I've been here all my life, and I just want to create a brand for myself. I've been here for 34 years. I have a veterinary clinic. That can be the main hustle. And maybe in the future I'll be open to joining another corporate. I'm happy to go back to a daytime job.
So a veterinary clinic, are you a vet, or is it like you own it? You own the veterinary?
No, I own the veterinary clinic.
Right. Okay.
So when I started it 6 years ago, there's not many veterinary clinics here, but so many people have pets, and I'm a business graduate. I saw an opportunity and I took it.
Right. Okay. So what was a mistake or a hurdle that you faced in your life that you think that you can change and it would have affected your whole business in a positive way?
I try not to have regrets. So I think everything happens, it sounds cliche, but I think everything happens at the right time. A lot of people used to tell me, Anas, you should become a blogger. But I don't think I was ready until my last job, when I had a big account. So I've already experienced being an influencer because I was managing the account for them all. I saw the numbers, I saw how, it gave me a taste of how an influencer is. But a mistake or something that I would have changed, I think, so one, if you're working for somebody, always try to get promoted or change a job within every 2-3 years. Make sure that you have a goal that you aspire to.
Right.
I got in my beginnings, I got stuck in the same position for a longer period of time. I would have changed that. I think another thing is I would have liked to spend more time abroad. I think you learn so much by interacting or immersing yourself in different cultures. I spent quite a while. I spent some time in Pittsburgh, USA. I spent some time in Salamanca, Spain. I used to go to Toronto often. I wish, maybe in the future, I would move out for a bit just to explore the world.
Right. So, how many countries have you traveled so far?
I've never counted, but well over 40. I think.
Oh, okay. Okay.
One thing that I used to do is, so my brother works for Qatar Airways, my younger brother, and they are able to give discounts. And I used to travel. So in 2019, I traveled 20 times.
Okay.
Every weekend, I would just get out of here, really.
Whoa. Okay.
And this is one more thing why I resigned from my last job. Is because I was working so much.
Yeah.
It stopped me from doing what I love, which is traveling. I was making so much more. I was making 50% or 100% more money than my previous job, but I had maybe 70% less time. And I realized that I was happy with making less money, but traveling more.
Okay, that's an interesting philosophy. Yeah, I've heard so many people talk about the same. A lot of successful people say the same thing. like if you've heard of this quote, you cry in a Toyota. It's better to be happy in a Toyota than be sad in a Ferrari, and that's exactly what you're talking about here. Like you had lesser pay that time, but you were more happy that
I was
time.
happier with less
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I didn't need to make more money to be happy.
Yeah.
You
Makes
realize
sense.
that your time is the most valuable thing that you can have.
Yeah. So, Anas, can you tell us something about your fitness? How do you stay fit? How do you manage yourself?
Okay, I'm gonna say some. I'm gonna take you back to why I started working out.
Yeah.
I was bullied.
Okay.
I was bullied back maybe in 2016 or 17.
Uh-huh.
Somebody just said one word to me. I was on the beach and someone said was like you're too skinny, or oh, I was expecting more. And that one word changed the course of my life. I started, the amount of time I spent in the gym, the amount of money I spent on a personal trainer, the amount of money on the diet, the sleeping, the supplement, working out. You have respect for people that work out, not because of the physique. That's one thing, but the discipline involved is just crazy. So I would just like to say that experience is always be careful of what you say to somebody, even a stranger, even a waiter, even anybody, someone in a gas station.
Yeah.
You don't know that one word. They could really be life changing for them.
Yeah.
And that's why there's some people that commit suicide because of bullying, or that one word, it drives them off the edge.
Yeah.
I started working out because I was bullied, and then I got into it. How I stay fit is that I try to monitor my food.
Mm-hmm.
I like to enjoy. I believe in balance. I don't believe in strict diets.
Right.
Anything strict, any extreme, is not sustainable. You need something that's more of a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So more or less, I watch what I eat. I still enjoy. I have dessert. I love burgers. I'm a big fan of burgers.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to work out. I have to work out at least 30 minutes a day, even if it's just a walk.
Yeah.
It's really, really helpful. I would recommend that if anybody is thinking of starting to work out, becoming more fit, you start with a fitness trainer that will give you the basics, and then you could do it on your own.
That's a lot of value right there. So, what workout do you do? What's your main area of training?
I do weightlifting mostly.
Okay.
So in the gym with weights. So there's two phases. There's bulking and there is shredding.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm the type that always has been trying to get bigger and bigger. But yeah.
Right. So, how do you manage your time juggling between so many things? You do a lot of things, right? So, how do you manage time? Do you plan? Do you schedule things? Do you plan, or is it just?
I like recently. I need to. I started writing things. You need to write down your tasks, or else you'll forget what you need to do. I get between 80 to 100 messages a day.
Yeah.
From different people. It's like, this is what you don't realize, that you being. That's why so many influencers or bloggers or famous people or CEOs have assistants. Because, for example, on my birthday, I got around 500 something messages. Yeah? And I honestly try to respond to every single person. I just think it's a nice thing to do. And as well, it's very important to create a loyal fan base, an engaging fan base.
Yeah.
You need to come down and interact with people normally. But 500 messages.
Yes.
Let's do this. Let's calculate the math. I have 500 messages. I want to thank everybody, and it's gonna take me around 20 seconds to respond to each one. Yeah, that's
okay.
That's 10,000 seconds.
Yeah.
Divide by 60. That's how many minutes?
166.
Yeah, so that's almost 2 hours. 120 minutes. So it's 2
Yeah.
hours and 40 minutes of on my phone if I just need to respond to my birthday messages.
Oh, okay, okay.
Always your time, like more year after year, I become more conscious of my time.
Mm.
And for example, when I switched from my last two jobs,
Mm.
I used to calculate how much time I spend in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized by reducing it from like 40 minutes a day to 20 minutes a day, I save 11 days a year in the car.
Okay.
Really, like just the time commuting, calculate how long it takes you to go to work every day.
Yeah.
And how like that and then just do the math, and
Yeah.
you'll realize, imagine that how by switching jobs or careers,
Yeah.
you can have much more time to do other things. 11 days in the car, imagine that you just, now a lot of us are complaining that we need to be quarantined for 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine just spending 11 days in your car.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, and how I manage my time is I'm very conscious of it. I write down, I use Google Calendar,
Mm-hmm.
just to write things off, scratch things off whenever I'm done with something. I'm still not 100% at organization. I that's one area that I would love to improve in, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, so this is what I do in terms of time management, right? So, like you, I do take a task list and I write all my tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And before, what I used to do was I used to schedule everything at this point and this point. But now, what I do instead is I actually, get the three main tasks of the day. Let's say I want to study, I want to do gym, and I want to do some YouTube. So what I do is I just organize these three things and give them chunks, like
Mhm.
big chunks, a couple of hours for each of them. So if I give them a couple of hours, I'm actually giving, that's actually plenty time for either of these tasks. So that's what I do. It's kind of like time boxing. So you put some time, and you schedule some time for your most important tasks.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, when you have some downtime, you can actually do some, your extra things, whatever you want to do extra. So yeah. Also, thank you so much for responding to my messages, because I didn't know you had these many messages coming in each day. So.
But I'll tell you, it's a business, and
Right.
now this has turned into a business.
Mhm.
And the reason I get customers is that I have followers. So my most valuable asset, or one of the most valuable assets, is my followers, and so
Yeah.
I owe them something. I'm very grateful and thankful.
Right, yeah, makes sense. But I just can't imagine how bigger celebs who have hundreds of thousands of followers, those people might be getting like too many messages.
But they have teams under
Assistants,
them.
yeah.
Exactly, they have
Yeah.
assistants and teams. It's like an operation.
Mm.
They actually delegate it to an agency, and the agency manages the communication.
Right. Exactly like how you did your previous job, right?
But in my previous job, actually, a lot of people thought that it's an agency. I'm not. No, there was no agency. I was managing them all,
Oh, okay.
A to Z.
Okay.
Content creation, community
Yeah.
management, advertisement. I was doing everything. So
Yeah.
whenever we had somebody and they were like, when I was leaving, they had to get an agency.
Mm.
So in all the interviews, the other agency would be like, "So who's your current agency?" And I would be like, "I'm the agency."
That's very good.
It was. I mean, they were lucky. I mean, with social media, it helps if you have somebody that's very tech savvy, somebody that
Mhm.
doesn't mind spending time on their phone, and that was me. They were lucky to have somebody that's just always texting. But at the same time, again, if I had help, if I had somebody with me or an agency, I might have still at my day job.
Yeah.
You know.
So I love the work that you put in, man. It's pretty inspiring. So for someone who wants to start like this, so I'm inspired. Let's say I want to start, thinking about how to be as big as Anas. So how do I actually go about it? I'm a beginner.
So I don't think there's a shame in ignorance. There's a shame in not trying to learn something new. And again, in the past 6 months, I get a lot of people that want to get fame or want to be known on social media. So I came up with, I give a course that's called using Instagram for self-branding. I would say the main thing is you start with, what's my purpose? What am I good at? What do I want to do? Do I want to be a model? am I a chef and I want to show my food? Just decide your purpose. That's one. And then from there, you need a calendar.
Mm-hmm.
You need to decide what you're gonna post in each day. You need a content calendar.
Yeah.
Once you have the purpose and the content calendar, you just need to just keep doing it month over month.
Mm-hmm.
If you're good at it, you're gonna get noticed.
Yeah. So it's,
These are the basics. I mean, then you can get into advertising or collaborations with others. But the basic is find your purpose.
yes.
Simple as that.
So it's find your purpose and consistently put out content.
Yes.
Right. Okay. That's some
Quality
very
content.
Yeah. Quality content.
Because that's one thing is that I try. I mean, not always, because it's time consuming. The hardest thing is to come up with the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Try. There's so many people doing this.
Mhm.
Just if you're gonna. For me, I'm lucky. Thank you God. The hair is memorable, but there's so many others that are trying to do something out there, but they post the regular stuff. How are you gonna be remembered? You need to be memorable.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So can you tell us how you actually learned all these 4 languages that you learned, and how you were so fluent at it?
Okay, so Arabic is a native language.
Okay.
With English, so I didn't go to private schools when I was younger.
Mm.
I was in governmental schools. I think so. We have assistants. We had assistants at home.
Mm.
So I learned English. I think mainly by from interacting with the assistants at home, and music.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the days, I had I think Samsung. I can't remember what the phone was. It was really like back in the days when we listened to MP3 players. So I learned English from music. Thank you, Michael Jackson. Thank you, Britney Spears. You know, these are the main 2 things I used to listen to.
Yeah.
15, 20 years back.
Uh-huh.
With Spanish, it was when I was in Carnegie Mellon. They started offering it, and I'm like, Spanish, sexy language.
Mhm.
That's it started like that, and I just got hooked with Spanish, and then with Romanian. So you have the Romance or Latin languages is Spanish, French, Italian, and Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
Romanian, if I haven't said. So they're all the same family. So if you speak one, you'll be able to understand
Right.
the others more or less. I studied Spanish here, and I studied Spanish in Salamanca, Spain,
Mm-hmm.
as part of my education. And then when I started working for Vodafone, I had a boss who's a friend, a very close friend of mine now, Dragos, who's Romanian.
Mm-hmm.
And I just picked up Romanian from just hearing the Romanians talking to each other.
Oh, okay.
And then I started visiting Romania, and it's a hidden talent. Nobody expects you to speak.
Yeah,
speak
you're
Romanian.
talented, man. Yeah. Okay, guys. So that's the end of the interview. It was really cool. I really loved the interview.
Thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed it too. It's my first podcast, so.
So yeah, thank you, Anas. Okay, yeah, we can stop the recording.